All right, let's talk about Bo Nix, who was a Offensive Rookie of the Year candidate in year one and just did a lot of really nice things, I thought, for Denver. And while we'll get into how much Sean Payton had a role in that, like one thing I was just really impressed with him last year was something like this, where you see how Houston is selling as though they could be blitzing on this play, but they will actually be dropping back into zone coverage. So, okay, Bo Nix is going to have to make a post-snap read. Those are things that often, give rookie quarterbacks trouble. Usually rookie quarterbacks are at least okay at the obvious pre-snap read stuff, but post-snap, things can go haywire, obviously. However, one interesting thing is, so you see when this play begins, look at that Houston player that I've circled. Why is this fascinating to me? Well, because he was selling as though he's blitzing, and he's not doing a great job at getting back to cover where he should be covering, right? You ideally would want him about 5 yards further down the field. Denver has a player who is going to get to that zone, and Bo Nix essentially just reads what's happening. Watch, he's able to also make a very accurate throw, but he gets the ball to where there was now a gap, which is just smart football by Nix, and that's just kind of what I like about him, is he reads plays effectively. Like this play's another one where it's easy to give Sean Payton credit for a play like this one where it's going to be man coverage, but watch, and there's going to be a lot of things going on, a lot of guys crossing from one side of the field to the other side of the field, which can cause confusion for the defense. I've highlighted a tight end right here because watch what happens when this play begins. Nix takes the snap, and that player is going to ultimately get open. This was a bad defensive play. Nobody picks him up. You needed someone to pick him up right here, so now it's an opportunity for Denver. But here's the thing. This isn't like his first read on this play. This is a read you get to eventually. Hope it gets open, right? But like, this isn't the first thing that Nix is looking at. Nix just sees the field well enough that watch how he is going to be able to flip it over there, and they're able to pick up a wide open touchdown. Again, you look at that play, and I didn't even break down to X's and O's because I didn't think it was relevant. But you can look at that play and say, wow, X's and O's were great. Sean Payton, what a job. But like, Bo Nix still had to notice it and read the play and get the ball there, and he was able to do so. And even in a more simple concept, like something like this, where I'm sure that you've seen this type of thing a million times, even if you're not an X's and O's guy, where it's a zone coverage play. You have a receiver running a deep shot that's going to kind of try and push the safety further deep, and then a more over the middle route to hopefully allow that to get open, and just to make sure that the linebackers don't cover anything, you run a play action on top of it. So hopefully that can draw the linebackers who are covering over the middle of the field further over the middle, or further in, and then that over the middle route could get open. However, when this play begins, this is played well defensively, right? I mean, neither of these routes are open, and well, shoot, now what do you do if you're a quarterback? Well, Bo Nix quickly gets it to his halfback, who unfortunately doesn't pick up too many yards, but that's still the correct play, right? That's the right read, and Sean Payton is always big on, if you have a check down, like, use that as a weapon, get it there quickly if you have to, and that's what Bo Nix does. His ability to get the checkdowns quickly and throw the ball away quickly, I was very impressed with. And people kind of gave him criticism for, oh, he's just a checkdown merchant. That was a narrative. But, like, that's part of this offense, and that's part of the philosophy. Drew Brees was a quote-unquote checkdown merchant, and he's also, put together some of the best seasons we've ever seen, right? But also, like, he is capable of making impressive plays. Like this one, for example, it's a zone coverage concept. You see how this route's going to try and, kind of get in the middle of this coverage. Well, one Bo Nix takes the snap. He's going to look right here, and you see that, is there a window? Kind of. It would take a really good throw to get it there, but Bo Nix is going to take a chance here. And as you see, that's exactly what he does, and they're able to get that completion. Also, I'm just realizing, I said earlier this was Houston. This is not Houston. This is Atlanta. I forgot who they were going up against. Atlanta is the team, of course, that they're playing. The uniforms are similar, but yeah, it's really good stuff here from Nix, right? If we want to get into some negatives, I think the two negatives I would throw, one isn't his fault. It's just, it sometimes can cause him to be overrated, I would say, in certain areas, is that, Sean Payton does do a good job at scheming up plays for him. That can sometimes allow for him to be able to hit the layups, which again, that's not a problem. That's not a negative for him. But sometimes, people will look at a box score and say, wow, he was great. But when you watch the game, he was only fine, which again is okay, but that's still something to bring up. The other negative is I think sometimes he does get a little bit too locked into what's on script, This play, it's a zone coverage concept. You have a receiver running, kind of similar to that play I showed you earlier. One route trying to push the safeties deep, another more over the middle route. Nix is going to take the snap right here. There's no play action to move the linebackers, further in, and maybe there should have been because this is kind of covered up. But Nix just kind of tries to fire it anyway, and that's just a bad call by Bo Nix. I don't know exactly what he missed on that one. Maybe he assumed the linebacker was going to stay further deep with the deep shot, but you can't assume that. You have to pay attention to it. I think he just got, he trusts Sean Payton. A lot of the concepts work. Sometimes he gets too locked into that. Something you expect with more NFL reps he'll get better at, but it is a negative as of right now. Not the biggest one in the world, but is something that I did notice. Although I would also bring up, he is a playmaker. He is not just someone who needs Sean Payton to succeed. We have seen him have success. Like in this situation, it's a cover 2 man, which is a good coverage to run on, right? Because the 2 safeties are watching the quarterback, but they're far away. The 4 defensive linemen are watching the quarterback, but that's it. There's no one else paying attention to the quarterback. So when this play begins and there is a potential running lane right here, well, what's Nix going to do? He's going to do the smart thing on this play. Watch as he's going to rush, and this was a 3rd down and 5, and he picks up that 1st down and slides, protects himself, which is also important as well. That's just good football from Bo Nix, and these are the types of things that you like to see if you're a Broncos fan. So yeah, I mean, honestly, it was a really good rookie season. It really was with Bo Nix, and what he was able to do fit the scheme really well, but I think he did some other stuff too. I do think he gets thrown into the game manager role, and again, that's not an insult, right? It shouldn't be an insult. It usually gets used as one, but it shouldn't be an insult because there's a lot of quarterbacks who have played in the league for 10 years and can't get the game manager stuff down. So being able to do that in year 1 is really impressive. But I do think he does some other stuff too. I do think his mobility and his ability to run helps build some other aspects of his game. And again, a lot of people will just ask the stealing question because I think he's a good athlete and has a good arm. He's not Josh Allen, right? He's not Lamar Jackson. All that stuff is fair to bring up. But ultimately, I don't know, guy's gonna be on a rookie deal for 3 years. He's playing really good football right now. What's his ceiling? Drew Brees wasn't Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen. He had a pretty high ceiling as well, right? Again, not fair to compare Bo Nix to Drew Brees just because of the Sean Payton connection, but you get the idea. So, yeah, ultimately, really excited to see where Bo Nix goes from here. I thought he had a very impressive rookie season, and we'll see if he can grow and continue to get better as a player. But, yeah, those are my thoughts on Bo Nix. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you, and of course, as always, thanks for watching.